the topic of the panel was toxicity in Twitch politics, and the most toxic thing that had happened to me at that point was Keffals. I announced that I was going to be covering this tonight between 10:45 and 11. At 10:05, I got struck on YouTube for an unlisted stream that was done 2 weeks ago. Stardust manifesto. No, Stardust Diaries, okay? It's the Stardust Diaries. Okay, so the reason I titled this the way I did is because I don't want it to be mistaken. I think the one that Destiny is doing is much more serious. I believe they're going over like actual disinfo. That is, they're compiling actual disinfo. For, if I'm recalling correctly, if what I understood from that stream correctly is that they're compiling actual disinfo, they're compiling actual inconsistencies, things like that. For me, I titled it The Stardust Diaries because I'm not doing anything that serious. I'm not trying to take her to court or anything like that. I am not trying to, you know, point out every little inconsistency that she has. I'm just trying to document my experience with this person as a smaller content creator, as a person who should be considered part of like a marginalized community, and what it's like to be on the bad side of this person. So it's just my experience. All right, my values briefly. Is this music too, wait, before we get started, is this music too calm? You know what? No, I'm going to leave it, okay? My values, briefly. To get things out of the way, I know I am going to be slandered as a Nazi sympathizer, or a Nazi, or a fascist, or something else, because I've been slandered this way by Keffals and others before. There's no music? Oh, you guys don't hear the music? Oh, it's such nice, calm piano music. Fuck, now I have to start over. I have to start over because you guys didn't hear the music. Okay. Wow, what the fuck? Is it too calm? Okay, zoom in. I can't. Louder? You want louder music? Do you want to hear me? What's the point of me being... What's the point of me here talking if you just want to hear music? Okay, let's start over. You guys are going too fast for me. Okay. Alright. Music is too loud compared to your voice. Which one is it? People are telling me to turn it up. People are telling me to turn it down. People are saying it's perfect. Stop confusing me. I just got started, guys. Come on, seriously. I had such a day. I got a strike on my YouTube, and yeah, okay. It's a good level. Okay, alright. Everybody shut up. Alright? Whoa! We need some Islamic hype music? No, I'm not in that phase yet. We're getting there. I am actually getting into that phase. You guys know I'm diving into the fucking Islam debate bro place, you know? But anyways. Okay, I'm so sorry to all the new people who are here. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm not really like this. How did you get a strike? Basically, I got a notification while I was live earlier, around 10 o'clock. I said, here, let's read the tweet together, guys. Oof. Sorry, okay. I had plans to go over my document I wrote on the stream tonight, approximately between 10:45 and 11 p.m. ET on YouTube, and I just got a notification that my channel received a strike for an unlisted stream from September 3rd, 2020, tonight around 10:05 p.m. ET. I believe I have been mass reported. Two weeks ago, lol. Exactly! Holy shit, man. Not only was it an unlisted stream, it was from 2 weeks ago. I don't think it's a coincidence that it happened at 10:05. Oh, fuck. You guys are right. I put 2020. I didn't put 2022. Now I have to delete this. I have to delete this tweet because it's wrong. Fucking hate you guys. I do have to delete it. I really do. Fuck. I can't even link my thing. Okay, go like my tweet, okay? You dumb bitches. Thank you. Alright. I missed the beginning of the stream. Can someone fill me in? We haven't even started the Stardust Diaries yet, okay? So, the reason why I'm calling it the Stardust Diaries is because I feel like it's a much more emotional viewpoint from me as somebody who is a slightly marginalized person, smaller content creator who got on the bad side of Keffals. And as you can see from what happened, I paid the price tonight. So anyways, okay, we'll start from the beginning. My values, briefly. To get things out of the way, I know I am going to be slandered as a Nazi sympathizer, or a Nazi, or a fascist, or something else, because I've been slandered this way by Keffals and others before. I want to clear up with everyone what my values are and where I'm coming from. To see my background and why I talk to nearly everyone, you can read here. I feel like I'm going to read it to you guys. When I publish this and link it to everybody, you guys can skip over it. But since it's my stream, we're going to read over it, okay? Okay, my background. I am no stranger to being the one who stood out in most of my life. I was always the only one who looked like me in a classroom. A lot of people had trouble pronouncing and spelling my name growing up. And there were certain parts of my life that were much stricter for me than they were for my peers. There was always a clash of American culture and strict Muslim South Asian culture in my life. I would go to gatherings at people's houses who were in the Muslim community in our area and have the pressure of always trying to look perfect and proper. And in those settings, I was aiming always to be quiet and sweet. I didn't even make eye contact with any of the men. Then at school, my interactions were so different. I interacted with the opposite sex. Other girls were much louder and rowdier than I was. But my mom still had high standards for me and my brother. She's like very much a tiger mom, if you will. Despite growing up with a Muslim and South Asian background, and partly being in a culture with strict gender roles as a result of that, my mom still tried to instill ideas of feminism in me from a pretty young age. When it came to politics, she's always been progressive, but would leave different political shows on with varying views to see how I would react. It would fucking drive me nuts, by the way, guys. I remember there was like a year where every day at dinner she would put Bill O'Reilly on. And I would get so upset listening to Bill O'Reilly while I was eating dinner. I could not stand that man. He would drive me up the fucking wall. And I don't know why she had him on. And one day, I just couldn't take it anymore. I was like, can we please listen to something else? I can't stand him. And she was like, yeah, we can listen to something else. And I was like, That was it? That's all it took? So yeah, she changed it, but she told me basically later that she only had it on because she wanted to see how I would react to it. So, yeah. We didn't have the most traditional family, so she, along with my brother and I, had to traverse this strange area between being in a culture that is far more closed and restricted, and a society where we needed to break those restrictions to survive. America post 9/11 also added on additional pressures, questions, confrontations in school, work, in the grocery store. I'm sure my mom also had confrontations at her job. And as a result of this, I'm no stranger to being around people who have vastly different views than me, and even people who view me as secondary or flawed in some way. I was flawed in any community I was in, really. I was always like strange, I guess. This is partly why I don't feel the need to isolate myself within my political circle. If I've lived my life this long without doing it, why would I do it online? I've been pro-LGBTQ rights and have been campaigning and advocating for their rights since I was in high school. I was president of the LGBTQ Alliance in high school. I've always been interested in politics and have a history of going to protests and rallies throughout high school and college for various movements. In high school, I helped fill a petition that we mailed to the newly elected president, Obama, on his first day of office to encourage him to pass laws that were pro-LGBTQ rights. And in college and beyond, I've participated in multiple nonprofit organizations as a volunteer as well as an intern to help serve underprivileged communities. I'm interested in talking to people from all sorts of ideologies because I don't think sequestering them does any good to the world. We've all been exposed to and have grown up with people in our lives who have incredibly distasteful views, but we don't disown them just because of that. We have neighbors, family members, friends who are all susceptible to flawed beliefs. I refuse to cut connections and isolate people just because of distasteful views when I can have a conversation with them instead. So that's pretty much my background. If you want to see more, you can go to my beliefs page or whatever and go and scroll through it and see, okay? So, back to this. Sorry, I got distracted by something. Okay. I see people are liking the Bill O'Reilly stuff. I can't believe she did that to me, man. She fucking trolled me. She trolled me. She really trolled me. Okay. Prior to the panel, I had no idea who Keffals was. I only vaguely knew her for, her Twitter memes and then later on, her falling out with Destiny. All I recall from her falling out with Destiny is, 1, she claimed he stealthed someone, or basically raped someone falsely. This was unsubstantiated and she walked it back afterwards. Damn, the numbers are fucked up here. 2, that she had disagreements with him on his takes about trans people in sports. Destiny felt that it might be unfair to allow trans people who have gone through puberty to participate in competitive sports, if I'm recalling this correctly. Keffals disagreed, and I believe she felt his take was transphobic. 3, she claimed to have gotten Destiny deplatformed after he got banned on Twitch. There's no evidence that this is the case, even if she claimed it. I don't know all the details around this. This is basically everything that I know. The panel. On May 13th, 2022, while Dylan Burns was in Ukraine, I was invited to a special edition of Hippy Dippy Roundtable. Dylan participated as a panelist and Vosh was a special host. The panel started off great. The topics were about toxicity and Twitch politics. But while on the panel, things slowly derailed. I was messaged on Discord that Keffals was watching the Hippy Dippy panel and was seething. People told me she was making comments about things I said and was mad about the panel in general. And while watching me, she asserted that I was a Nazi sympathizer, that I was friends with Nazis and harassers. 20 minutes into the show, Keffals made a tweet claiming that last minute she found out I was on the panel, that I was friends with someone who was a Nazi and who harassed her, and that she didn't join the panel because of that. And here's the tweet. I got invited to the Hippy Dippy roundtable that Dylan Burns runs. I found out at the last minute someone who is friends with a neo-Nazi that has been harassing and cyberstalking me for 2 months had been invited. I backed out. The topic was, is Twitch politics toxic? So Dylan invited me on after he thought that she wasn't coming on, just so you guys know. So it was not a last minute thing for her. She claims it was a planned ambush when it very clearly wasn't. Neither Dylan nor I have any idea about Flamenco cyber stalking her. So I quote tweeted her, asking her what she meant. And all she did was respond with the following. So here's my quote tweet. Who is the neo-Nazi that I'm friends with and that has been harassing and cyberstalking you for 2 months? Are you friends with the unhinged people harassing me for months? Because I believed she was. And then she replied to me. She said, interesting that I didn't name you, but you knew who you were. Throughout the panel, I asked Keffals directly to talk to me one-on-one so I could explain to her why I do the things I do and my reasoning. She would call me a bitch while I was talking and get irrationally angry every time I spoke. You can see this in Dylan Burns' video on what happened. He has clips of her where she's calling me a bitch, where she's really mad, all of that. So I tried to approach her as honestly as possible, but she rolled her eyes when she saw it on the stream and was uninterested in talking to me, basically. As a result of the eyes on the panel and the tweets and the amount of eyes specifically on me, I felt guilty that Dylan and Danabo were being affected by my presence. I continued to plead for her to talk to me instead of sitting and seething. I feel like if she had decided to have a conversation with me, it would have been, it just would have been resolved. Most people once they talk to me, sorry for pausing the music, but most people once they talk to me, they realize I'm pretty reasonable, I think, and I'm pretty easy to get along with, unless I'm in an argument with you. Bitch is an interesting choice of gendered insult, I suppose so. Here's if I can, I think Sansel had a great point earlier about people just coming and talking to you when they have an issue with you. Because while I've been on this panel, somebody made a subtweet about me saying that they didn't join the panel because I'm friends with a neo-Nazi that's been harassing them for 2 months. Now, if you want to come talk to me, I think it would be great if we could talk about it. I think Sansel made a very good point that we could be resolving a lot of these issues and these rumors and these things that you don't know and I don't know if you just came and talked to me and we resolved it like adults. But no, I'm finding out in the middle of a panel that somebody has an issue with me, when I'm pretty sure you're friends with people who've been harassing me as well. So please, come talk to me. I will talk to you like an adult. I will treat you with respect. But, yeah, that's just not it. That's just not it, homie. Homie at the end there. Yeah. So that's like two different clips of me basically saying, hey, Sansel made a great point here. You should come talk to me. It's two different clips I spliced together. And maybe I should have Maybe I should have kept those separate. But anyways, so I couldn't tell if Dylan was having internet problems being in Ukraine or what else was going on. As a result, I decided to leave the panel early. So basically, I said that I was going to keep doing what I was doing. I announced a few really contentious people I was going to have on my show in the coming week, people that a lot of people have problems with. And Obama. And so right after I did that, Dylan disappeared off the panel. And I took that either he's having internet problems or he left because of me. You know, typical behavior for me to blame myself for everything, but you know, I didn't know that he didn't have a problem with me. So why not Obama? Look, Obama, somebody told me to say it. Okay, anyways, back to this. Oh, fuck. Sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna leave right after this, okay? But I just want to say,
I wanted you to be here for what I had to say, Stardust.
look, I just want to say that I am heartbroken. I am heartbroken that I put this much work into what I do, and that somebody is willing to completely discredit me as a person Stardust, and as for the work and the research that I do, just because I'm friends with somebody or friendly with somebody that they don't approve of. I get it. Everybody has history, but you're friends with people who have harassed me too. I have been harassed by literally everybody, like from every political aisle. I have been hate rated by groypers. I have been harassed and campaigned to get mass flagged on YouTube by lefties. So it's heartbreaking. It's honestly heartbreaking. This is toxicity. This is what it is. Funny that the topic of the panel was toxicity in Twitch politics, and probably the most toxic thing that had happened to me at that point was Keffals. I thought it was toxic, just like the normal lefties in Twitch poll who fucking hate me. But yeah, Keffals is a different level. And yeah, I was actually heartbroken because I actually put a lot of work into what I do. I know it doesn't look like it. I know a lot of people think that I don't know what people think, but I really do put a lot of work into the stuff that I do, you know? So, I thought you were going to cry when that happened. I did cry, later in the night. But, anyways, CTV tried to comfort me and tell me I shouldn't leave, but I felt so guilty, about having brought this attention to the panel and to Dylan, that I couldn't bear to continue to put them through anymore. So this actually seems to have been a good idea because the next day or so, she makes a veiled threat about Dylan, which I'll include later in this document. I am...
Just tell the truth, Stardust. What's going on?
I don't know why he left. I think it's valid if he wants to, you know, do what he's doing in the future to leave. I am just going to leave because I don't want to create any more problems. So thank you for having me. I will see you guys later. Fuck, guys, seriously. Yeah, I was very sad here.
Bruh.
Anyways, I would remind anyone reading this that I am a small content creator in comparison to Keffals. She maintains hundreds of viewers. I'm not someone who has the ability to combat this type of slander she can easily put out about me with her massive Twitter and Twitch following. I'm pro-trans rights. I'm pro-progressive values. And just because I talk to a wide variety of political viewpoints doesn't mean those values still don't exist for me, or that they aren't things that I champion when I enter debates. I issued a tweet thread to explain to people exactly why I left. Somebody asked, Why is Stardust manifesto so well formatted? I actually was working on this like a week ago. I started working on this a week ago. I didn't know that Destiny and whatever DGDers were going to actually make their own thing. So it was kind of a coincidence that like the other day, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but it was kind of a coincidence that I overheard or somebody told me that Destiny was doing a manifesto of his own with a bunch of people. So, but obviously mine is not like a manifesto. Mine's just my emotional journey through this and my other journey through this, you know, my actual journey through this. There are no coincidences. This is the original manifesto. Destiny is a copycat. I suppose that's true. All right. Here's the tweet that I issued the next day to explain why I left. It was a lot of pressure in the middle of the panel to have someone I've never been aggressive with, besides demanding a debate once, to be targeting me, and to see all her mods in my chat too. I didn't want to cause any additional trouble for Dylan Burns or the panelists. No one asked me to leave. I just left because I didn't want to be a burden. I have a complex about being a burden. Sorry. I am friends with many people who have vastly different views from me, and even have beef with each other. It's just very demoralizing when you put in so much work into this. People, like Keffals, want to assume the worst. It really does break my heart. Finally, I am my own person. I am not the male creators you associate me with. Fine if you don't want to be around me, but not fine for finding me guilty of a character that isn't even mine. Also in this tweet, I let people know I don't think people should have to be on a panel with me. Here, somebody replied, I assume she didn't feel, I assume she felt unsafe talking to someone like that. Kind of don't blame her. I don't really like to associate with people who could possibly say and believe shit that would piss me off / be against my life choices. She's also been on the receiving end of a lot of harassment lately, so her safety is more important. I replied and I said, I don't mind not joining a panel if you feel like you are unsafe. I just don't understand the reason for directing attention my way. Or directing attention to Dylan and Danabo. I felt so bad for them, honestly. They put so much work into that panel. I just felt like I created so many problems for them. I think both of you have valuable things to say, and it bums me out watching both of you get harassed for stuff other people can say without much pushback. Okay, so that night, the honking happens, right? I'm sure plenty of you guys saw it, where I was on Twitter, and I started replying to Keffals' tweets with just honk, 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 and I changed my profile picture to a duck, and then all my friends and all my audience, everybody started changing their profile pictures to ducks and to geese, and everybody started honking. Everybody started honking at Keffals and honking at people who were tweeting at me and all of that. Why? Because it was funny. Because I like it. So anyways, here's the explanation. Previously in the commentary community, when I made several parties very angry, by accident, by the way, I, along with my audience, proceeded to spam reply people who tweeted at me with honks while changing our profile pictures to ducks and geese. Honk, 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 specifically. Thank you. I tend to go unhinged on Twitter because I think it's funny, and honking was the new evolution of my unhinged posting. Before that, it was mashing. If you guys saw, I confused the fuck out of Demon Mama with my mashing and debate me, you know. So, the same night of the panel, after I voluntarily left in tears, I switched over to stream on YouTube. Thank you for the quacks. And like we did weeks prior with the commentary community, we changed our profile pictures to ducks and started honking in response to Keffals' tweets. Keffals that same night was confused. Thought it was a reference to an... Am I gonna have to mute that, guys? I'm gonna have to mute that. Behave. Okay, I'm gonna turn it down at least. Okay, so anyways, back to this. Fuck. I'm minimizing this thing too, okay? I turned the volume down. I'm minimizing this since you guys keep abusing it. You keep abusing it. Right? We turn it down. OG bully the streamer with hydrate. Wow. Unbelievable. Oh, hell no! Bruh. Wow, thanks guys. Okay, we're turning down more, okay? Keep abusing it. It's gonna go quiet soon. Alright. Back to what I was saying. The same night of the panel, after I voluntarily left in tears, I switched over to stream on YouTube. And like we did weeks prior with the... Okay, we're turning it off. You guys have lost it. And like we did weeks prior with the commentary community, we changed our profile pictures to ducks and started honking in response to Keffals' tweets. Keffals that same night was confused, thought it was in reference to an alt-right meme. And there is an alt-right meme that did relate to honking and clowns, but what my community and I do is related to ducks and geese. Not an alt-right meme. I thought it was hilarious that she immediately thought I was doing a Nazi meme. Even though we all had our profile pictures changed to geese and ducks. The next day, she very disingenuously spliced together Richard Spencer explaining to me that it could be interpreted that way because there is a meme like that, and tried to use that as evidence that what I was doing was a Nazi meme at her on purpose. If you had continued the clip just a few seconds longer, the explanation that what I was doing was not related to that would have been evident. So not only was I made to feel guilty for merely existing on a panel, I was very dishonestly portrayed as a neo-Nazi. The timeline of invites. Danabo, the booking manager for Dylan, released a series of tweets after, detailing the timeline of Hippy Dippy booking, in which it is revealed that Keffals did not reply to him until 11 minutes before the show, and he had already marked her down as not attending because she never responded. She photoshopped a photo of Steven and Nick too? I didn't know that. So this is the Hippy Dippy timeline by Danabo, May 14, 2022. Rough timeline of Hippy Dippy booking, Friday, 13th of May. The 2nd of May. Original guests, Chud Logic, Rhizome, and IRI invited to discuss recent Is Twitch Politics Holding Us Back topic. The 3rd of May, Roe v. Wade, leak, so panels rushed from the 6th to the 13th. 10th of May, Vosh agrees to moderate so Dylan can participate. Invites sent to Demon Mama, Mike from PA, and Hassan. 11th of May, invite sent to Keffals. All invites include initial confirmed guest list and topic outline. The 12th of May, no response from invites sent out on the 10th or 11th. Need to get show booked. Topic 2, change to, is drama helping or hurting Twitch politics? From where is the line on platforming? Further invites sent to Stardust, Sonsol, and BPF. The 13th of May, Keffals responds 1 hour, she responds 1 hour, 11 minutes. This is actually, the time is wrong for this. It's 11 minutes before the show. Asks for the guest list and topics. And Danabo replied 1 minute later. Keffals decides not to come on because people who have engaged in harassment against me or friends of theirs are on the panel. I respond, I understand. Ask who it was and apologize. In her reply, she asked Danabo who was on. He told her. She responded 5 minutes after the show had started. people who have engaged in harassment against me or friends of theirs are on the panel. He did that. Keffals said on her stream that night during the panel, I was invited to get dogpiled. Stardust and Sansel are terrible people, etc. She also claimed Flamenco has stalked her, made tons of videos on her. At that time, I believe it was 2 videos over several months, and there's no evidence of Flamenco doxing Keffals. After the panel. How's chat doing? How are you guys doing, huh? Chat is being oppressed. Okay. So after the panel, Dylan Burns makes a video replying to Keffals' accusations that he set her up, all of this. Dylan mentions that it's ridiculous to expect someone booking a show to not only look into the people they are booking and their history, but to look into who each guest is friends with or has talked to, as well as how those friends have interacted with others. And I tend to agree with him. Booking a show is a bunch of bullshit. In addition, he mentions as well that Keffals only responded 11 minutes before the show, and as a result, they had already booked a replacement a long time before she responded. He actually says in the video, if she had said that she was going to come on, he would have turned her away because he already booked. He already booked everybody. So when she messaged them 11 minutes before saying she didn't like 2 of the people who were on and claimed that it was a setup, he didn't care. He had already booked others and was not expecting her to show up. He, in addition, talks about how he has been open to talking to her, but she was not responsive. He presents evidence that Keffals doesn't care, that he doesn't know her, and Flam's history, and that she doesn't care about building bridges regardless. Then there's this Chud's video on the situation. Well, let's take a quick look at the... Oh no! Wait, I don't want to do that. Okay. Here. Just take a quick look. This is
She realizes right there that I'm not talking about Stardust. I'm talking about Flamenco. That he's not on my show. It has literally nothing to do with me. And then she realizes it, cuts herself off, and...
I think what I'm going to say is pretty much what other people have said here. I think engaging with people outside of your politics, engaging with people who have different strategies, engaging with people on platforms outside of Twitch politics. And like, I'm not talking about...
Shakes her head.
Oh, shut up, you fucking bitch.
And then she calls Stardust a bitch. That's...
So true. So true. Shut up, you fucking bitch. Hey, Anonymous, thank you for the 50 gifted subs. Really appreciate it. If you guys also want to give, what really helps is there's a Ko-Fi link, and that goes directly to my PayPal as well. But those 50 tier 1 subs, really, really appreciate it. I don't know why you didn't make that your sub alert. I should make that my sub alert. Which part, though? The part where Dylan says, and she calls Stardust a bitch, or the part where she calls me a bitch? Where Keffals says it. Do you accept crypto stars? I do not. Replace the bitch with a honk. Keffals saying it would be epic. Do it. Anonymous is here. Oh noes. Let us honk. Free the honks. Okay. Saying bitch is woke when you are Keffals. Yeah. Okay. Right. In addition, yeah, basically she doesn't care about building bridges. That's also in that full version of that video. There's also Chud's video on the situation where he does an interview with me. Keffals also called Chud Logic a pedophile on the night of the panel while she was hate watching. In this video, Chud Logic and I talk partway through about Keffals and my history. Then on like the history of other people that I interact with.
2nd of May, original guests, Irrational Chad, Rise from Tweets, and IRI, invited to discuss recent Is Twitch Politics Holding Us Back topic.
And so I was very stressed out. And then I saw Dylan was kind of freaking out too, because he probably saw the tweet. And I didn't want to be any trouble on the show. I just wanted to get out like what I wanted to say, um, and then leave so I wouldn't cause any issues for anybody, because I don't want to jeopardize if this is like causing so much problems during a show. I didn't want to jeopardize anybody else's career, like or future goals by being there. So I just wanted to get out what I was saying. I was obviously very heartbroken because I put a lot of work into what I do, and and I get that people don't understand it, and I don't expect people to want to associate with me. They don't have to. Um, but but I just don't understand why you would direct all of this negative energy towards me when you should know what it's like to be somebody who has a lot of energy already directed towards you. It's not like a walk in the park, the stuff that I do. It's not like I don't get a whole lot of shit for the stuff that I do, because if anything, I get a lot of shit from all sides for doing it. And I just would have expected a little bit better behavior. And I would hope that somebody would be judging me on my character and the way that I interact with people, rather than on like the history of other people that I interact with. So.
Yeah, so have you ever like yourself personally like gone hard on Keffals for anything on your stream or anything like that? Like, is there any reason for animosity beyond the friendship you have?
I don't think so. I think I just so you guys know, I'm gonna speed this up just a little bit, okay? 1.5. Challenge her to a debate one time on a show or something, but other than that, that's it. I don't think I've had any. If I've had any, I don't remember it. It's possible I could have, and I don't remember it. But the only thing I can remember is I challenged her to a debate one time, and I didn't even think she was watching. I didn't think she'd see it. I don't even know if she saw it. I don't even know if she knows me. But yeah, it sucks. It definitely hurts like my soul. It hurts my heart. Because I do put a lot of work into what I do. I do put a lot of work. Like, I am an entertainer first, but I 1.25. Okay. I also do put a lot of work into the types of conversations that I have, and even though I talk with controversial figures, I figure my character should speak for me. And the stuff that I want to do should speak for me. And I just wish people would ask me rather than make these judgments that like I'm some crypto neo-Nazi or something like that. I mean, I started honking at her last night. My chat and I, everybody changed their names to honks, and everybody changed their profile pictures to ducks, and we started honking at these tweets. And then she spent like 10 minutes trying to see if it was like a neo-Nazi meme. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Welcome to Chud Nation.
So
hello there, Chudites.
Someone in chat is saying that you tweeted that saying a while ago that Keffals should be banned. Is that true?
Maybe I did. I don't remember it. It's possible. But
by the way, just to be clear, I'm only asking because I'm trying to figure out if there's a reason for the animosity. Like, yeah, obviously I think that she acted really fucking weird last night. There was no need for her to kick off about you. I don't think. She could have just quietly. Yeah. Do you know as well? Apparently, she replied to this message from Danabo like 11 minutes before the stream was due to start, and Danabo presumed
I didn't even know that. That changed my perspective on things immediately. I just found that out while I was listening to you. So yeah, I didn't even know that. I honestly, I saw as soon as I announced that I was like talking to Ariel today and Richard Spencer today, I think Dylan's internet conveniently cut out, and I in my head I was already catastrophizing, so I thought like, oh my god, like he left because of me. I better leave, especially now, even though it was his internet, and I didn't want to cause him any further problems or in the future or anything like that. So I figure I'm gonna restate that I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because I'm talking to controversial people today, and I'll leave so I don't cause any more trouble for people. But it's I don't know, it hurt my heart, so I was very sad for the rest of the night.
So yeah, I don't know how everything played out. I've been largely disconnected from things.
I agree. Flamenco's been a bit fucking unhinged with some of this shit, and I know he's a KF.
Yeah, he's definitely been unhinged, and I think I've even told him. I've even told him about like one of the things that he was saying was kind of unhinged. And other people who know him will tell him like, but.
One more thing to point out as well, like people brought him onto a stream to call him out for like pushing this narrative of like something which was based on a tweet. Like he was criticized for some of his coverage because they were like, there isn't enough evidence for this, bro. Like, so it's not as if everyone's like, oh yeah, go on Flamenco. No, people are like, no, this is wrong. You're doing the wrong thing here.
Virtually everybody in his community, called him out for stuff. You know,
yeah,
the Xanderhall thing. Like virtually everybody called him out for that. I don't think anybody disagrees on that. That was, you know, silly, but like, I'm not Flamenco. It's fine if you don't want to come on a panel with me, but I just don't understand. If you know what it's like to have this amount of negative attention drawn to you, and you should know because you're literally Keffals, then maybe you don't want to draw that negative attention to me when I'm telling you, what I do is like not a walk in the park. Like I get it from both sides, and I just don't. Yeah, I just don't get it. I don't understand why. If you don't understand why I do the things that I do, ask me. You know, ask me why I do them. Ask me why I'm trying to humanize myself for other people. Ask me why that's important to me. You know, and I'll explain it. But it's just it's just very heartbreaking to have somebody who is such a larger creator painting you in this light. And you're working so hard in the conversations that you put together. You're working so hard in the connections that you're making with other people. And you're working so hard on like the framing of conversations that you have with people. You know, it's just it's very frustrating. It's very heartbreaking. And you have to understand, I started off like streaming. When I first started streaming, I started off streaming and I was fighting with like fundamentalist Muslims, you know, like old Muslim men, you know, who probably lived in like a different era than me, you know? So this idea that I shouldn't talk to people on the far right is ridiculous to me. I've talked to people, like I've talked to, if I can talk to like, you know, like fundy Muslims who think that women should be covered up completely and that women are secondary to men, of course I can talk to far righties. And how are you going to tell me I shouldn't talk to far righties when like I could very well run into like somebody like that in my personal life and talk to them? Are you going to tell me to stop talking to anybody who's part of like the Muslim community then? Because there are bound to be some people in there who are super, you know, backwards. I just don't get it.
Yeah, and it feels I know for me, the way that I feel with these things is you feel like you like
you know, I'm always surprised at like how coherent I am on some of these.
You kind of you even guessed in
like a Muslim party or something, like, or so
the things that I observed,
women are separate, you know. I don't even look at the men at those things. Like it's, you know, it's ridiculous.
Like, oh, there's this thing about you with the new one, and that seems to be a us
talk shit without any pushback, someone else is saying.
No, I mean, like, I think I was very nuanced when I talked about toxicity. I think toxicity where I'm calling Chud Logic a fat whore is funny. I think toxicity where we're trying to like get people's livelihoods taken away is very different. I think there's a very, very nuanced conversation there. Like there's a huge difference between like taking somebody's livelihood away, painting them with a brush that is inaccurate, and Stardust silencing trans voices. Sorry, Zonia, I'm very self-centered right now. Okay, this is a manifesto, all written by me. Okay. And painting them as to be like some horrible like neo-Nazi versus like you know, shit talking people basically.
Yeah, there's I think some of that stuff is like,
by the way, Chud Logic, I met the dude in person. He's not a fat whore.
Misconstrued or conflated with the toxicity. Because it seems to me that, like, I've had this kind of thing happen where I've had people who basically say that they're justified in trying to get me deplatformed or mass reported because I wrote an absurd story that isn't realistic at all. That isn't trying to convince anybody of anything. It's obviously absurd.
Those are the same people that are trying to get me mass reported as well. Somebody was asked, Crad Babes is continuing to ask, who's trying to take your livelihood away? Same people who are friends with Keffals, same people who are in that group. They are trying to, you know, get my livelihood taken away. Well, I think the type of toxicity that is calling people fat whores is, some people would call that like toxic. I definitely called several people fat whores in recent days, and I thought it was the most fun thing I've ever done. But you know, other people in the Twitch politics community, you know, other people in the Twitch politics community would find that incredibly toxic. That's the type of toxicity that I like. The toxicity that I don't like is people trying to take away like your livelihood, people trying to like I don't know, paint you as this like horrible neo-Nazi like to everybody. So
I was opposed.
So yeah, I think that's a huge distinction for me. Like, I don't have a problem with like banter, right? Calling Chud Logic a fat whore was super funny to me, but I would never try to take Chud Logic's income away, you know? And I think Chud Logic knows that when I call him a fat whore, I don't mean it. Anyways. The Sanctions. You guys remember the Sanctions? May 18th, 2022. I did a stream where I partly watched what Keffals was up to. As a weird sort of reverse Uno card on her, since she spent that panel, May 13th, hate watching us. So during the stream, she describes why she was still upset, why she was upset by the panel. Still wrong, by the way.
Because I was complaining about someone on the panel who is openly associated with a neo-Nazi that engaged in harassment against me for a long period of time and against many other content creators. The response was fucking Dylan saying on his stream that I'm delusional and toxic and no longer welcome on any future debate shows.
Fucking based of Dylan, honestly.
This is coming from the guy who was completely okay platforming someone named Big Papa Fascist who thinks all gay people are pedophiles. Who would have thought that the people who platform Fash wouldn't be very nice? How about you shut the fuck up, you stupid fucking get out of here.
Yeah, imagine having that type of response, by the way. I have people who are like Keffals fans come into my chat all the time. Holy shit. People come into my chat who are Keffals fans all the time, who call me way worse things, who say way worse things about me. Do I ever go off on them? No. But somebody says, imagine it being toxic or whatever. She's like, shut the fuck up. You know? No bad tactics, just bad targets, yeah. So, yeah, I've never done that. I've never, you know, and the thing is with people like Keffals, they can say the worst things in the world to me. The worst things in the world to me and about me. And the moment I say anything in response, I'm like the worst person in the world.
Holy shit. You stupid fucking cunt. Get out of here.
Let's just rewind it.
Who would have thought that the people who platform Fash wouldn't be very nice? How about you shut the fuck up, you stupid fucking cunt. Get out of here. Holy shit. I'm like so sick of people trying to fuck with me.
Is that fucking with you? Is that fucking with you? So she can call me all these names in front of her tens of thousands of followers. And the moment I say, hey, I'm concerned about you slandering me, I am the most horrible person in the world, huh? I don't view her as human now, apparently, because I pushed back on her slandering me. She's claiming that I don't view her as human.
Others.
Hey, Sir Gree, thank you for the resubscribe. She also makes what seems to be a veiled threat to Dylan about his future political career. This was super fucked up too. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Where I was afraid that my presence on that panel, since she was so mad at me being there, I was afraid that my presence on that panel was going to jeopardize Dylan at some point because she was acting fucking psychotic. Whoa, what's this? That's so cool. Sorry, I was amazed by Minecraft.
Yeah, one day Dylan is gonna try and run for office, and like weird shit is going to start popping up from like his debates, like the clips and stuff, and it's gonna be so funny.
gonna be so funny. In this stream, she's also aware that I'm watching and jokes about DMCA striking me. Also during the stream, she got so upset with me that she enacted a mass ban through bots, what she called a sanction.
Initiate another.
By the way, here's let's look at this beautiful tweet here. By the way, Keffals watched me on stream first. I'm just returning the favor. I thought that was cute, but okay.
Initiate another sanction. All right, hold on. I can do this easy peasy lemon squeezy.
A sanction.
Hello. Can we get OG? I am adding, yeah, we're sanctioning Stardust for being cringe. So basically, we're adding to the bot to make it so anyone who follows Stardust automatically gets banned from this stream.
Wow.
Spank this, you Elgar star.
If you're following Stardust and you hit follow on this stream, you will be banned from this stream. So here's your message right now. If you're following Stardust, unfollow Stardust, because in the next 12 hours or so, when this goes in operation,
oh no, I'm gonna get
Stardust
banned. Shit, that sucks.
followers will be permanently banned.
That is so funny. Yeah, so me watching her for 30 minutes made her so upset that she enacted a mass ban of anybody who follows me and who follows her. She even tweeted about it. Okay, I've put a wall between me and the debate perverts so they cannot invade my wholesome Christian Twitch stream. I'm going back to the news tomorrow. Being trans and having any sort of presence is fucking insufferable. Ask yourself if you know any higher profile trans people in the online politics, and if the answer is no, then you know why. I would ask, do you know any women of color who are in the who are like prominent in Twitch politics? I'm just saying. Maybe like one person. Anyways. No, I get it. I'm not, whatever. Other Twitch poll people get added to the sanction, including Dylan Burns, Zonia, Gappy, Sonsel, and more. A lot of these people are added just for being friends with me, just for having some proximity to me. It's crazy. Unbans. So not only did she enact this incredibly wide ban on so many different people, she turned her unbans into a spectacle, and turned it to like an event on screen, basically. Vote in the poll on whether or not we should permaban or unban. And it's like going through this, going through their chat log, going through mod comments. Other attacks on members of my community. Keffals calls one of my head mods, Bosset, a Nazi for something he tweeted. And Bosset is like the furthest thing from a Nazi, by the way.
Onto a panel show, they show up and calmly answer questions when the whatever the fuck like immediately I know this person's a fucking Nazi because no normal person uses the term alt-left. The only people who use the term alt-left are people who are on the alt-right in order to try and...
Bosset, do you mind if I tell people, like, look, Bosset is one of my head mods. He's probably one of the furthest left people who hangs out regularly in my stream, and has directly taken actions IRL that would impress anyone and would be considered anti-fascist actions. She's also called my community Nazis, which is also a lie. So yeah, Bosset basically has been part of things. People have asked him to be part of things to help get certain very large figures banned from his country. Very large, dissident right figures banned from his country. You know, he's talked to very high up political officials. He's super experienced. He's been doing this, you know, stuff for a while. He's pretty much the definition of anti-fascist, right? Anyways. So anyways, she calls my community Nazis, which is also a lie, and disrespectful towards my community. I petitioned against Gavin McInnes, Spencer, etc., and was like, ban these dudes from Australia, please. So, like, a real Nazi. Yeah, so Posset does stuff, and Posset is, like, one of the regulars, and he's probably one of the furthest left people who hangs out regularly, in my streams, and so she's calling him a Nazi, and I think that's really fucking funny. She called my community Nazis, which is also a lie and disrespectful towards my community. My community is filled with people from a variety of different backgrounds and political leanings, and a lot of them are POC and left-leaning. The Quartering arc. The Quartering can be incredibly cringe and a disingenuous person. So can Keffals. Apparently this drama started because Quartering was dead-naming and misgendering Keffals, as well as calling her a groomer. Keffals wanted to talk to Quartering, but he was uninterested in talking with her. Apparently he sent her a Twitter DM saying, like, no hard feelings, I hope you make a lot of money. Keffals started saying every day that the Quartering was going to come on her show and debate her. She also started tweeting at the Quartering, asking when he was going to come on. It got to the point where she was editing DMs to make it look like he agreed. She claimed that it was a joke. I only tuned in for the 5 minutes around it, but I clipped it where she was editing this DM to make it look like he said he was going to come on. I tweeted out the clip of her editing the DMs, and the Quartering retweeted me. Quartering retweeting my clip made Keffals irritated, so she tweeted at me wanting to talk. I agreed. A few days went by and we talked. During my conversation with Keffals, we clarified some things. One of those things being that the honking meme I did was not a neo-Nazi whistle, and that I am not a fascist or a neo-Nazi. I explained to her that my community has been honking for months. She acknowledged it, and then we moved on. I thought we started the conversation really well, and I tried my best to continue to maintain a friendly conversation. She told me she was mad at me for being friends with Flamenco when he posts on her forum on KF regularly. She accused him of stalking her, obsessively making videos and encouraging doxing. I said several times that I cannot answer for Flamenco, and that if she has issues with him, she should talk to him. Despite this, she insisted on talking about him. While I do not approve of doxing, and I know that a lot of doxing does happen on KF, I do not think that Flamenco has doxed or encouraged doxing on that forum. In fact, on one of my streams, I looked through his post history and found no history of such. I even told Keffals if she had evidence of him posting dox or encouraging it, that I would kick him out. Keffals said he did not dox her, but he encouraged doxing. I've yet to see evidence of it. She's yet to send me anything. She was angry that he was posting there at all. Keep in mind that her accusation of him obsessively making videos about her has been about 2 to 3 videos over the past few months. If that's really obsessively making videos, really. This led to a conversation that quickly devolved into an argument, that quickly devolved into her yelling at me, telling me to shut up, calling me a cunt, and hanging up on me. Here's a clip from it. I can't really comment on that. I do know that, I mean, I feel like it's kind of hypocritical to be blaming him for being part of a forum, right?
Oh, shut the fuck up, you stupid bitch. Really? Blaming him for being part of a thread that is engaged in so much harassment that my fucking mother's address was leaked and they went after my family. How fucking discourse brained are you that this is actually something that you would say? Holy.
So I'm not trying to get you mad or anything like that.
Okay, then actually be a fucking person.
Right. I've expressed to you that I don't approve of doxing, and I don't.
He's in your chat.
Yes, he's
Tell
in my
him
chat.
you don't.
I was really trying to be calm there, guys. Okay. She was uninterested in the fact that she had already slandered me to thousands of people who would never get a chance to know differently. In her mind, oh, by the way, can we just acknowledge that her saying be a person, be a, you know, I can't really comment on that. I do know. So I'm not trying to get you mad or anything like that.
Okay, then actually be a fucking person.
Right. So she accused me recently of not viewing her as a human being. The fact that she is telling me to be a person is just really hammering in the point that I made, that it's not me that doesn't view her as a human. I'm the one who's defended her even when even after this incident, I still defended her. When I talked to TheQuartering, I still told TheQuartering, hey, I don't know that that Catboy Ranch thing is substantiated. I think that we should probably not say that. You know, and I still defended her despite this, and she's saying that it is justified for her to slander me because I don't view her as a person. Are you kidding me? I have continued to say that doxing is wrong. I have continued to say that what's happened to you is wrong. I have continued to say that, you know, if we don't have anything that's substantiated, you can't be using that and saying that's definitively true. Ridiculous. Anyways, be a person and doxes Josh's mother. Well, look, she was uninterested in the fact that she had already slandered me to thousands of people who would never get a chance to know differently. In her mind, she was justified being upset at being slandered as a groomer by TheQuartering. But somehow, I was not justified in being concerned about being slandered as a white nationalist by her. She was talking to you and made it all about Flamenco. Ridiculous. Yeah. I really tried to divert from that. I tried to be like, hey, I can't speak for Flam. But apparently I'm Flam's mom now or something. I don't know. I'm not his mom. Stop. Mommy, sorry, mommy. Okay. In this moment in the Hunter interview killed what little faith I had in her turning a new leaf. Anyways, back to this. Back to this. Flam's mom is way whiter than you. Thanks, Sonia. Really appreciate that. It's interesting that anybody else who says anything that's untrue about her, she's completely justified being concerned about. But if I am concerned, not really justified. Whatever. Hey, Keffals and Augie RFC. This is the part that really hurts me. This is the part that hurts my soul, okay? Augie RFC and Keffals had a conversation a bit before I had my conversation with Keffals. This is the only thing that's out of order in this, okay? Despite being at odds with Keffals for far more, the conversation that Keffals and Augie RFC had was much more civil than the one that Keffals and I had. Augie RFC apparently implied that Keffals was doing suspicious stuff with minors on Discord, something that I have never implied. Augie also, at the time, was someone who heavily featured Flamenco on his shows, something that I also have never done. Augie was much closer to Flamenco than I ever was. And he had a much larger audience than I ever did. And was probably more responsible for Flamenco having a large audience than I ever would be. In fact, Flamenco was a far larger streamer than I was. Regardless of this, Augie RFC was afforded a level of charitability and politeness that I never was. Despite having legitimate concerns about the way she has slandered me, she gave Augie, someone who said that she should end up homeless in the streets, she gave him so much more charitability than she ever gave me. What are the differences between me and Augie? Now look, I don't want to play the fucking id poll game here, okay? But other people keep fucking playing the id poll game. So, if you're gonna fucking play the id poll game, let's see what happens if I play it, okay? Well, what's the difference between me and Augie? Augie is a white male, conservative in political leaning, and holds 1.5k viewers when he goes live on YouTube. He has implied Keffals was doing sus stuff with minors on Discord, that she deserved to end up homeless in the streets, and more. He also had a channel on Cozy, and has been friendly with way more right-wingers than I have. I am a female of Indian origin, left-leaning in politics, and at the time I held between 150 to 200 people in live viewership on Twitch. I have not said that Keffals has done anything with minors in Discord. I have defended her in multiple scenarios where people have accused her of being sus with minors, and for the most part have only criticized her for her actions. I have also been hate-rated, slandered, harassed, given death threats by far-right people, and been harassed, slandered, and given death threats by far-left people. Also, rape threats are somewhere in there. Keffals has been friendly with Augie on multiple occasions, and jumped into his stream chat to joke with chatters, despite how friendly he used to be with Flamenco. Again, which was far more friendly than I ever was. I'm not saying that she's racist or that she's sexist or anything like that. But if she wants to play the id poll game like as much as she does, we can do it too, and these are the things that come up. Why was Augie given so much more charitability than I was? Why, when I have defended you to TheQuartering, I've defended you to multiple different people, why were you so much kinder to him and still continue to be kind to him and just continue to be horrible to me and think that you're justified in it? She said multiple times that she is justified in treating me like shit. I think it might have to do with the fact that Augie holds 1.5k viewers on average when he goes live on YouTube, and I, at that time, was holding 150 to 200 people in viewership on Twitch. Maybe it's that. Maybe she's a social climber. Maybe Nick was right. Anyways, moving on. I didn't feature Flamenco anywhere near the amount that Augie did. No, I don't think she's, I honestly think it's about the numbers. I think it's about the numbers for her. I really do think it's for the numbers. Okay, conversation with TheQuartering. I was able to leverage TheQuartering retweeting me to get a conversation with him. And in that conversation, we discussed representation in media, since I knew we had opposing views on the subject. While I had that conversation with him, I didn't like him calling Keffals a groomer myself. So despite the way Keffals treated me on stream, as we just saw her calling me a bitch, telling me to shut the fuck up, I took the opportunity to tell him that labeling Keffals as a groomer was wrong, and that the Catboy Ranch stuff was unsubstantiated. Keffals ended up watching the conversation, but was so mad with me and she turned it off. She reached the point where I was talking about Catboy Ranch and she said, "Oh, I don't need her to defend me or whatever." Lotus Eaters podcast covered my conversation with Keffals. I mean, we can just take a quick look at this, actually. Why don't we take a quick look?
White guy thing.
Sorry, no, it's fine. It's fine. So I think the one point that I made on that video is that maybe people who know more of Stone Toss Comics like history can say they know like that this person is an anti-Semitic person.
I don't know him.
Yeah,
that's a thing.
So the average normie is not going to know
that word.
I would
she keeps
say
saying that over and
was,
over again.
There was like an implication of her being a groomer, right? Like with
okay,
the whole
a groomer, yeah.
with the Cowboy Ranch stuff. Well, I
oh
think.
Yeah, well,
okay,
let me.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
So that clip, right, where she's upset about the Cowboy Ranch stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was literally reading the messages, but I didn't have the right monitor up. Yeah. So she did make a valid like, hey, what was he just making this up? I wasn't, but it wasn't on the screen. So fair criticism.
Yeah.
The Catboy Ranch thing, like, this is something she's admitted to. I mean, multiple times.
Well, to be fair to her, yeah. So to be fair to her, the Cowboy Ranch rumor was started by somebody who used to be friends with her, and there wasn't like a whole lot of evidence there to really like to substantiate like what they were saying was going on with Catboy Ranch, because a lot of these screenshots were from a different server that she apparently was never part of or something like that. And so I just found the Catboy Ranch things, allegations always kind of dubious anyways. But most recently, that woman who initially put out those false claims came out on Twitter and said that she falsely made those claims because they were in a fight. So I do want to clarify. I don't think Keffals is a groomer. And so I do want to clarify that much, but I also don't agree with her slandering like pretty much everybody under the sun. Like she one of her mods keeps face doxing a friend of mine and calling them a groomer. One of her I believe she has she's called me a so in this he agrees to take down the video where he calls her a groomer. Yeah, here it is.
So I don't know what I don't know what your kind of I'm actually just privating that video about the cat. It was either Twitter's.
Yeah.
I think it was. I'm gonna private it just for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. See, I still fucking defended her. Seriously. He privated the video. He privated the video after I talked to him, and I talked with him, with respect. And, like, I'm not going to lie. I think some of his positions are cringe, but I'm not going to let somebody be slandered. I star stood up for Keffals even when she was being an asshole. Yeah, pretty much. I still think she's being an asshole. You know what? I think I have the right. You know what? No, not yet. Back to Lotus Eaters. Lotus Eaters cover my conversation with Keffals. And Keffals decided to react to it. In it, when they mentioned me getting slandered, Keffals says, "I literally don't care," and justifies her slandering me and not caring because apparently I do not view her as a human, which is entirely untrue. If I didn't view her as a human, would I have gone out of my way to dispel the myths around Catboy Ranch with TheQuartering? Would I have been as outspoken against people doxing her and swatting her as I have been? The only person who is guilty here is Keffals, and she does not view me as a human. Here's the video. We'll watch a little bit of it, okay?
This is all true. You can look up the second.
Support you enough.
I'm friends with detransitioners and I support them. Like, I don't know where this is coming from. Like, do we not support the ones that are getting backed by Lotus Eaters?
Because Destiny evil, we need to make sure that everybody knows that Destiny's evil because he makes fun of trans people occasionally, despite, for the most part, supporting the ideology. But, you know, once again, he's on the left, but he's just slightly not left enough for these people.
You saw lots of people.
Destiny actively lurks on my Kiwifarms thread. Like,
untrue.
Okay.
He doesn't. He doesn't actively lurk on your Kiwifarms thread. No, that's...
A second. I said I wouldn't bring it up, but like, I need to show you all something. Just like, here's the reason why I don't really engage with him. So like, the reason
let's skip forward a little bit. Well, fine.
That I have a Kiwifarms thread in the first place is because
no, we're not going to go through all of that, okay? Going back.
This is the context to me getting mad at him over the past several months. And the context of this clip was Stardust.
But this descended into some pretty, into some nonsense. So I thought I'd play the clip of the end of this debate. So you could all see what Josh and I were missing out on from refusing to debate this person.
Ina was on that spreadsheet.
Okay,
what are you
but
talking about?
Gappy and I are smaller than you, and
I know yes, and Gappy and you both defended Destiny, who also engaged in my fucking Kiwifarms thread, and I have the screenshots for this. I have every right to be mad. I had every right to yell at her.
You didn't even provide screenshots of Destiny being involved in your Kiwifarms thread, but okay.
Anyone who is downplaying the severity of what Kiwifarms has done to my life can fucking eat my shit. I literally do not care. If you downplay how this has affected me, you are a sociopath. You are denying my humanity actively, and I do not care about you.
Did he post? I don't think I ever denied that she's been targeted by Kiwifarms. I've never denied that she's been unfairly targeted by Kiwifarms. I don't think I've ever denied that, what's happened to her is wrong. But it makes it hard for me to engage productively with you when you do the exact same things. You made a spreadsheet naming a whole bunch of streamers who were smaller than you, saying that they should be deplatformed or whatever. Stocks of you.
No, he doesn't need to. It's a fucking group harassment thread.
Okay, but again, people.
I already told you,
me.
Stupid fucking
Keffals.
Jesus Christ.
You have slandered me. This is where she called me a stupid fucking cunt, by the way. As a white nationalist, as a white supremacist. Okay, but again, people.
I already told you,
me.
Stupid fucking
Keffals.
Jesus Christ.
You have slandered me as a white nationalist, as a white supremacist, as a neo-Nazi.
I literally do not give a single because
she doesn't care, even though she cared a lot when she was getting slandered by TheQuartering as a groomer. So what I learned from this is that Keffals is morally justified to be upset that TheQuartering is calling her a groomer, but I'm not morally justified to be concerned in the least bit that she's calling me a white nationalist or a fascist to her tens of thousands of followers. If anything, I defended her when I spoke to TheQuartering. I have defended her whenever certain allegations have come up. It's just ridiculous. And it's like, okay, well, we'll justify anything against you, but
you are groups.
You've done that to groups of people. I am such a smaller content creator than you, and you think that it's okay.
I love how that's the crutch of it. It's like, you're a bigger content creator than me, therefore you deserve this.
I never said you deserve anything.
Jesus Christ. And then she later went on to go on a whole bunch of Destiny streams, just completely ignoring.
I went on one Destiny stream, by the way, guys. One Destiny stream after this because she watched it because he watched the video with us. I went to one Destiny stream after this because he was watching the Keffals conversation with me. I mean, look how many people in chat today are still saying Star Defense are too much after this. Agonizingly fair. I never said she deserved. If anything, I've said that she doesn't deserve to be treated like this.
Me not viewing me as a human being. That is what it was. Thinking that
I view you as a human being. You don't view me as a human being.
That the things that happened to me and all of the things that I have had to do were justified. I have to leave the continent for my own safety now. I've been doxxed 3 times. I've been swatted. Shit is fucking hell. And people try and tone police me over this.
Hey, for you to slander me as a white nationalist, as a brown woman, by the way.
3 times, yeah, and Stardust just sits there processing it all.
Okay, well, guys, that was that. I never dehumanize Keffals. I've always asserted that she has the right to, you know, be online and be in the online space and do what she does. I've always said that she doesn't deserve the amount of targeting that she gets. I've always said that doxing is unacceptable, swatting is unacceptable, what's happened to her is unacceptable. I just also believe that her targeting me and Gappy and anybody else is unacceptable as well for no good reason. I pause way too much, man. And I've done it. I've gone out of my way to be as fair as possible. Stardust, do you want to comment on what Stardust says? No, I think this Stardust has it already.
Has happened because after all of this, very, very recently, and I'm not saying.
Okay, I think, yeah. So, anyways, back to this. Keffals / Kiwifarms. We're getting towards the end, guys. Basically, I think I've demonstrated. Keffals does not view me as a human being. If anybody does not believe somebody else is not a human being, it's not me about Keffals. Again, I have defended her on multiple occasions after she has been absolutely horrible to me. Absolutely horrible to me. And let me remind you all, I was going to cover my lived experience being a content creator, a smaller content creator, getting on the wrong side of Keffals, and I got struck based on an unpublished video of me reviewing a debate. An unpublished video from 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. So this is how I get treated. And again, let's look at the difference between me and Augie RFC. This is how I get treated. Someone saved that stream URL just to tactically strike? Yeah, they did. They did. Right. Here we go. Keffals / Kiwifarms. This part's going to be a little bit more condensed because I feel like since Destiny and his little team are doing whatever with it, I'll leave them to do that, you know? Keffals / Kiwifarms, okay? Keffals accused Destiny of coordinating Kiwi farmers to harass her, but she didn't. Like Flamenco, Destiny has a Kiwi Farms threat of his own. He has been doxxed and his family and son have been threatened. At some point after that, Keffals launches a campaign to bring down Kiwi Farms while trying to blame Destiny for KF having her information. While I don't think she deserves to get doxxed or get harassed from KF users, I personally think getting a website taken down for things posted that are not illegal sets a bad precedent for other web providers. And I think the US privacy protection is abysmal, which is the root of the problem. Time would be much better spent trying to reform how our information is handled and building laws around that. Regardless, I do not want to get in anyone's way during this, and I just observe from the sidelines as things get worse and worse, and more out of control. At one point, Keffals raises money through a GoFundMe for $100K, a life-changing amount of money. I wish I could raise $100K. I have student loans, okay? I have student loans, you know. I got a life to live. I'm, you know, I've never loved the job as much as I've loved streaming. You know, but I haven't reached the point where I can make that kind of money yet. So yeah, she raises money through GoFundMe for $100K, a life-changing amount of money. Speaking out against doxing, while one of her mods has face docs of a Twitch streamer on their Twitter profile and is falsely accusing him of being a pedophile. Hypocritical. I'll say it again. Hypocritical. So, yeah. Speaking out against doxing, while one of her mods has face docs of a Twitch streamer and she is calling him a pedophile. It's okay when they do it? Yeah. It's okay when other people call people pedophiles and groomers. Or, wait, no, it's not okay. Wait, Star, you have a job outside of streaming? I do not. A few months ago, I was doing really well streaming. We'll get into that later, actually. I will talk to you about that, okay? Let's continue with this, all right? I generally don't have a lot to say about this section, except that it got more and more out of hand, and there were times when I questioned some of Keffals' actions. Knowing that you are at war with KF, why would you post any pictures that would let people know where you are? But she continues to do that, and even picked up IRL streaming. I know that others will probably write about this later on, so I will let the historians in this area do their work. My summary of the Keffals / Kiwifarms drama here. Fortress arcs are for cowards. Look, I think she's an actual victim of all these things. I just think I think she targets a lot of smaller content creators. She's targeted trans content creators. She's targeted content creators just left and right, really. Members of the LGBTQ community, member of any community, and it's just ridiculous. She's calling me a neo-Nazi. And you know, I don't know. I've expected it at this point because of the amount of zero fucks that people give about me in this space. Anytime I've been dealing with harassment from anyone on any side, nobody's given a shit. Keffals, the thing happening with her might be the first time people paid some attention to it, but like for the most part, nobody gives a shit. My community and I dealt with a lot of harassment on our own without any other support from outside. And I'm proud of that. But I wouldn't be telling the truth if I didn't say that like it feels a little bit unfair that some people get all of the support in the world and some people get nothing. So Fortress arcs are for cowards, true. Okay. Gay. My friendship with Flamenco. It's very gay, I'm sorry, okay? Oh, is that PC or is that not PC? Oh, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't be calling things that. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll stop. Okay. All right. Okay. My friendship with Flamenco. When Flamenco and I first met. The new term is soy. My bad. Soy! Okay, sorry. Alright. My friendship with Flamenco. When Flamenco and I first met, we actually hated each other. We were like two feral cats fighting over territory. Every interactions we had in the beginning led to yelling fights, me calling Flamenco a dumb piece of shit, him calling me a fucking bitch. We had opposite political views, but most of our vitriol was due to a misunderstanding we had early on. We had mutual friends in the creator sphere, Nicholas DiOrio, Augie, Edwin, and Boblax. It was actually through these friends that Flamenco and I interacted more and ended up resolving our misunderstanding. Ironic since they have since fallen out with him. After that, despite having complete opposite views of mine, and despite having an entire audience that hates my fucking guts, and let me tell you, Flamenco's audience fucking hates me. Flamenco ended up being a really solid friend. I know Flamenco has done plenty of crazy things in the past, and if that had been my introduction to him, I don't know if I would have given him a chance. I can't speak on his political beliefs from years ago, but the Flamenco I know today is something like a paleoconservative. He knows I don't approve of things like doxing and harassment, and I continue to tell him when I find something he's done is distasteful, unhinged, or cringe. I believe he's human, deeply flawed, but capable of getting things together more. I don't feel good about ostracizing someone who genuinely cares for his friends. Are there things that Flamenco could do in the future that would make me reconsider my association or friendship to him? Yes. But I have to reach that point myself with him. I can't reach that point through other people. I need hard evidence in front of me and personal experience. And just because I'm friends with Flamenco doesn't mean I am divulging my deepest secrets to him or whispering every rumor I hear to him. In fact, we mostly interact when both of us are streaming. We don't really have much to say to each other outside of that. I respect everyone I work with, so I'm not going to go around talking about people to other content creators. And that is that, I think. Other relevant videos. Here's the timeline of the clips that I played. Also, yeah, how many degrees separated do I need to be?
Winger. Will I get in trouble for being friends with someone who's friends with someone who's a right winger? Like, how many generations deep in the
6 degrees of Kevin Bacon? If you're 6 degrees of a Nazi, you are banned from every platform.
I don't know. Yeah, it's such an odd thing. I mean, you know, because it all originated from Flamenco, right? Like, you're friends with Flamenco, and that was like the big problem. And I don't. I mean, is Flamenco like a Nazi, or is he just like a right winger? You know,
he's just
I don't know.
like he's paleocon basically. Again, I'm sure there are ways in which I can, you know, there are ways that it's possible that we'll fall out in the future, but I'm not getting there through other people. I have to reach that point myself. So, this has been my the Stardust Diaries. Okay, thank you for attending chapter 1. I hope you liked it. I will be publishing this, and I have to spell check a few things in here. I just realized while reading through it. I hope you liked it, though. Please consider subscribing. Please consider subscribing to my YouTube, even though I got a fucking strike. And just let me remind you again that I announced that I was going to be covering this tonight on Twitter at between 10:45 and 11. And at 10:05, I got struck on YouTube. At 10:05, I got struck on YouTube for an unlisted stream that was done 2 weeks ago. Coincidence? Oh, it's not a fucking coincidence, by the way. It's not a coincidence. Chat, what did you think of this, of the Stardust, the Stardust, Diaries? Reward Stardust for her firstness. That's very true. Thank you. I think it was well presented. So proud of you. Very clear, concise. Thank you. It wasn't hours and hours. It was great. Destiny manifesto arc. No, Stardust Diaries, okay? It's the Stardust Diaries because it's in my heart.